What it involves is putting pressure on the bowstring. That is key. You already have your hook set the way you want it. And so there's two elements. Number one, you're putting pressure on the bowstring, and what you're doing is you want to have a straight line from your finger on the string hand through your wrist and through your elbow. You have to make a straight line, because if you don't make a straight line, you could end up like this or like this, up or down. So you have to make a straight line, and that is the purpose of the pre-draw with the string hand. Now, but I get into the throat of the grip, and I just set it. So right there is set. You do need a nice grip on the bow, one that is both comfortable and puts your bow hand in a position where it's also locked. It's not going to move, and it's ergonomically designed for your shooting style. So my shooting style is with a relaxed grip. I like the pressure going through the throat of the grip, so I choose the higher grips that are made. You can knock an arrow, set your wrist or your finger or wrist sling, then you want to set your hook. So most often the hook is done with set on the joint of the index finger. The middle finger would be on that joint here, right there. Now, I personally, at the bottom on the third finger, this ring finger, I do not use the joint. I use the flesh between the joints there, because I get the most consistent release. It feels mostly secure for me. So that's what I use. But basic teaching is that you would put it on the crease for all three fingers. That's basic archery. So I'm going to set my hook where I want it. I'm going to put tension on the bowstring. And I'm basically going to do two things at the same time. I'm going to set my grip, my bow hand deeply into the grip, but relaxed. And I'm going to put tension on the bowstring. And here I want to have a straight line from the string, from my fingers, through my wrist, through my elbow. And then I'm going to do this every time before I draw the bow. This is extremely important for consistency. It doesn't matter what kind of recurve bow you shoot, what class. This is absolutely paramountly important for your success, your accuracy, and your consistency. Now I'd like to discuss the angular draw that has been written about in the USA archery books and the benefits of it. The benefits are the fact that you're using your body in more of a circular motion, and most of the human body joints do work on circular motions. Your wrists, your shoulders certainly do. So the point is, we're using the natural rotations of the body in a natural way, which should, theoretically, that should make you shoot in a more comfortable position. It should tax your body slightly less than if you try to do everything linear. Now, the linear draw is probably the best for a complete beginner, but I do recommend starting with a angular draw as soon as you feel like you're ready, because I think the long range benefits are absolutely there. So what I do is, in contrast to like a linear draw where I put the bow straight in line with the target, so what I do is I simply go to 11 o'clock. If this was a clock face, 11 o'clock, and that's it. That's how I'm going to set up. So I'll go through my pre-draw here, set my hook, set my grip, and I'm going to draw with the bow initially at 11 o'clock, and then it's going to come around to straight level with the camera. So here we go, using like the triceps and as much as you can the back to draw. Now it comes into alignment here. So that is the angular draw. It feels good once you start learning it. At first it'll feel a little strange, but I think once you learn it, it'll feel much more comfortable when you're drawing your bow. You just need to get in the habit of you're drawing the bow to the left of the target, and then when you come into alignment, it'll center itself. Let's try that one more time. So I got my stance set, got my finger sling, I'm knocking an arrow, And here is my grip set, my hook set. Now I'm into the pre-draw phase here. So we got that. See, that needs to be in a straight alignment there. There we go. So we're going to draw at 11 o'clock and come into 12 o'clock once we get back, and everything will go into alignment like this. That's how it's done. Now we're going to go ahead and shoot at this target, and I'm going to go through the two critical points that I'm making today, which are the pre-draw and an angular draw. So here I'm setting the pre-draw. So I'm setting the pre-draw now. I'm locking my bow shoulder in with the wrist, my elbow. This is my front bow shoulder. Everything is set and locked. And on my string hand, I am getting a straight line as best as I possibly can through where the string hits my fingers, through my wrist, and through my elbow. And then I'm going to draw with an angular draw at 11 o'clock like this. And then come down and get it in alignment. Get my anchor point, set my string blur. And then I'm going to go to my follow through position to release the shot. Like that. So let's do that again. So the whole procedure looks like this. I address the target. I nock an arrow. I set up my finger sling. I set up my stance, where my stance is usually around 2 o'clock and body weight forward. That's to compensate for the change of the center of balance that you will experience when you have your arm extended and the weight of the bow out in front of you. Then you set the hook. And now here we set the pre-draw, so I'm getting tension on the bowstring. I'm locking my shoulder, setting my grip position, and I've got a line best I can from my string through my knuckles, through my wrist, and through my elbow. Now I'm going to draw at 11 o'clock, and then I'm going to come around like this, get into the best alignment I can, set the string blur and set the anchor point. I'm going to go to follow through to release the arrow. That's how it's done. That's a much better shot. So I hope these tips help. Archery does have a whole lot of details. I think if I were to describe my entire shot process, that it would require probably about 30 minutes in every single detail, because there's things I do that they're just so automatic that I can't always remember what I'm doing. But today's lesson is definitely you want to set a pre-draw where you want to do these things. What you need to do with the bow when you have the bow in your hand is this is the string, you need to set your chosen hook position. There we go. And then here's my bow position. So my hand is deep into the grip, and my bow arm is locked. It does not change. Once I set it in that pre-draw, it does not change. So imagine I have tension on the string. I've got everything in alignment on this side too. So I got my knuckle here going through the wrist and the elbow. So when I draw with an angular draw, which is the second lesson of today, I'm just going to go to the left of the target and bring it around. And now I am rotating my torso here a little bit. I mean, you have to. especially if you have a slightly open stance. I'm getting into my anchor point position, and I'm getting a string alignment, string blur with the riser, whatever you decide to do. I personally put it right on the center of the riser. And then in order to execute the shot after I've done my aiming, is I simply go to follow through position. So I go from this position here to this position, and that is it. That is it. I think if you pay attention to how the Korean coaches teach their archers, the release is a very choreographed, rehearsed movement, and they simply just practice that movement of, I got the string hand here, I'm in my anchor point, and they just keep practicing over and over that. And if you do that, I think that you'll be less apprehensive about the release, and you'll understand the release better. And I think that in the end, you'll have more consistent results and downrange. You'll have more consistent results and downrange accuracy.